Today we're going to talk about my favorite wide receivers to draft this year. We're going to be talking about those mid-round selections, those late-round flyers, those guys that I can't get enough of in my leagues. I'm drafting every day. I'm drafting everybody. I got all the wide receivers. But my favorite go-to wide receivers we're going to look at today. We're going to talk some strategy, 0 RB, here RB, late-round wide receivers, mid-round wide receiver targets. It's all going to be right here. But before you do, you need to click that subscribe button. We're talking about these players every day. We're talking about strategy every day. Yesterday, we talked about the running backs. Today, we're talking about the wide receivers. We're going to talk about players tomorrow. Every single day in season, it's the waiver wire. From the top to the bottom. We go deep. We go shallow. We also go in-depth on players as well. Click that button. Stop missing out. First player is Diontae Johnson. Round 7 ADP draft capital, hovers up to round 6 in a lot of leagues. I like that he's cheap. I also feel like he is a must for over a 20% target share, probably pushing 23 to 25%. In this offense with Bryce Young, I believe we'll get similar production, if not better. I imagine we're going to get more wide receiver 1 weeks out of him, if not consistent wide receiver 2 production. I think he can be productive in this offense. He's been looking good in training camp, and it's the cost. He's a mid-round selection. In your home league, he's a mid-round guy. People are low on the Panthers, but I'm buying the target share, and I'm seeing what production happens, and I know I'm going to get a 20 to 25% target share, maybe even more in this offense. But Diontae Johnson at this price tag, wide receiver 45 to 50 range, middle rounds, that's good to go, and I'm excited about that price. He can be my wide receiver 3, 4, or whatever, but I got him on the cheap. Rome Odunze. He is a tremendous flyer this year, a tremendous lottery ticket, tons of upside, and compared to other rookie wide receivers, especially last year, he would have been the first wide receiver selected in last year's draft. Obviously, when you look at draft capital, but there were a lot of debates. Rome Odunze is compared more to Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison Jr., but he's got Keenan Allen and DJ Moore in front of him, or with him, or however you want to look at that. But again, talent wins out, and if this talent sticks and hits early, you got yourself a league-winning asset. And then also, strategy-wise, with Rome Odunze, and we're going to talk about more players like Rome Odunze, because I like players like Rome Odunze. There's a lot of lottery tickets in this range. You got Xavier Worthy, you got Ladd McConkey, Jordan Addison, Keon Coleman, a big lottery ticket from this year. Jack Smith-Njigba's a lottery ticket. Brian Thomas Jr. The market's saying, hey, middle round wide receivers, we're going after those young guys with a lot of upside like Xavier Worthy. We saw that yesterday with the Chiefs in the preseason game. Tons of upside. I'm splitting these wide receivers up. I'm diversifying my portfolio, but I'm drafting a lot of them. The reason why I'm diversifying my portfolio is because I'm drafting multiple leagues a day. But I got a good feel of what the market's liking, what the market's wanting, and a lot of people are doing the same thing as me. That's what people are doing. In the middle rounds here, people are taking a gamble at the high-end wide receivers, the young guys, who could give you a lot of bang for the buck. There is a little downside because they're unknown assets. They're rookies. But again, I'm tossing some lottery tickets out there to see what happens. The pivot to them are the running backs in this range. You can go with some of the other ho-hum wide receivers that can give you consistent production in this range. But if you're not built at wide receiver, you're probably more likely to do so. If you're built at wide receiver, you're probably at the point where you're either going running back or you're going upside at the wide receiver spot. Xavier Worthy might be going up some rounds here too. So this might be old ADP by the end of the day here. Brian Thomas, same thing. Same thing. I'm drafting him up. A lot of upside here with Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence wants to push the ball downfield. If Trevor Lawrence goes down, you got Mac Jones who can push the ball downfield as well. Wide receiver 44, round 7 draft capital. He's even cheaper, or a little bit cheaper compared to the other 2 wide receivers we just mentioned, which means you can get a mid-round running back and Brian Thomas Jr. at the same time. So you're getting a lot of Brian Thomas Jr., or you can just stack up on a couple rookie wide receivers. You may want one of these mid-round wide receivers. One of these mid-round rookie wide receivers you may want to get, like a Ladd McConkey, because he's going to be on the field. He's going to get targets. We're not hearing much about the Chargers right now. Some of these teams keep the cards close during training camp. The Chargers last year was not with Quentin Johnston, but are pretty quiet with Ladd McConkey right now. Not many clips coming out because I would have showed them. But they were very loud with Quentin Johnson. Maybe it's the opposite effect. If they're good or if they're tremendous, they're not going to show them off. Ladd McConkey, 4.3 speed, tremendous route runner. Fits well with a hardball offense because he's a lunch pail player who can excel in all phases. Still rookie though. Might be a slower paced offense. There are some downsides to the game. But I'm not looking at it player good, player bad. I'm looking at strategy. I'm looking at rookie upside lottery tickets here. We got a lot of good ones here right in the middle rounds. I'm picking one, sometimes two if I'm feeling a little froggy in my leagues, and I'm diversifying between them and the running backs in that range. And it's really depending on how my team's built from the top, how that's going, and how the league is drafting as a whole. AD Mitchell, if I'm missing out on those guys, or if I want more upside at the wide receiver position, even off of what I already got, AD Mitchell, round 11, he's a little cheaper. He's going to command air yards when he's on the field, and he will be on the field. They're moving him inside into the slot and onto the outside. He's going to be a deep threat. If anything, if he's on the field running routes, he's going to have a game here and there where he's just going to hit. He's just going to hit. You may not know, but that's great for DFS. That's great for playing the matchups. And you could sell him if he goes on a run or enjoy the production, and it might exceed expectations from there because he is a very good wide receiver. Some draft evaluators had a first-round grade on him going into the draft. He's got tremendous speed. He can break off routes. This could be a sneaky fit. T. Higgins. What I like about him is the last few years, we were paying a little bit more for T. Higgins compared to now. Nothing really has changed, and the price has stayed at this point even after him coming back. I like him at a discount compared to what we had the years prior. Round 3, round 2 draft capital, that upside wide receiver. Still the same guy. Still going to command air yards. Still going to get deep targets. Still going to push for a 20% target share. There's going to be volume in good ways. We got Joe Burrow there. You're getting him a little cheaper compared to years past. I like a T. Higgins discount. Terry McLaurin, wide receiver 31 coming off the board. Mid-round wide receiver in home league drafts. I can see him going a little cheaper, maybe around the round 6, round 7 range. If your home league is going ham at the running back position, which happens a lot in home leagues. This is underdog ADP, which goes ham on wide receivers early. So expect some of these wide receivers to drop a little bit. But 20+% target share is almost a lock as long as he's healthy on the field. But the ADOT with Jaden Daniels and company should increase a little bit. Stay steady. He might see more accurate targets downfield, which could be more consistent fantasy production. 12 points per game last year. That could be 13, 14, 15. And we could have more spike weeks. Rashee Rice looked good. OTAs, minicamp, training camp, breaking off routes, taking a step forward, not getting suspended this year. He's going to be on the field. Marquise Hollywood Brown is hurt. Rashee Rice should be seeing targets early. 6.4 targets per game. Might see more air yards this year because it's hard to sit with a 4.8 ADOT average depth of target. So might get deeper targets to work with. And at SMU, he showed that during his collegiate career with the ball skills. There's more upside to here. So if he pushes a 20% target share, 18% targets in this offense is very good. On top of that, if his ADOT even goes to 8 or 9, which is still very low, he's going to be very productive and give you some more splash performances. And you're catching him at a discount because a lot of people are scared of him getting suspended. Probably not going to happen. Probably not going to happen. Darnell Mooney, late round flyer because I like him. Paired with Kirk Cousins, Drake London, Pitts. I think there's going to be volume. I think there's going to be upside. A lot of times, though, I'm not drafting him because at this spot, I'm also chasing those upside running backs. But at wide receiver in this range, I'm going straight upside. And I feel like upside here can likely be captured. I think he's going to be on the field a lot. He showed upside with Justin Fields. Now we're going to be on a fast-paced team, or what is projected to be a fast-paced team which could allow us to get some good results. Devonta Smith is a top wide receiver. I have not talked about many top-end wide receivers, but he's also ranked wide receiver 24 in average draft position per Underdog Fantasy. I like him here. I think he's cheap, and I feel very safe with him in the second round. He can give you a consistent fantasy production, a good floor as well. He's not very boom or bust. He's kind of like right in the middle with some spike weeks. I like that about his consistency. I can get an elite wide receiver, stack him with that, then start getting running backs. Compared to other wide receivers in this range, I feel very safe about him. Brandon Ayuk. He has dropped in price, and in some leagues, he's dropping past round 3. You're going to get a few wide receiver 1 weeks out of him. He's still a very good wide receiver. He can create separation. He was going in round 2 earlier this year in ADP. Brandon Ayuk at the discount here, I'm going to dance with that. And a lot of times it's round 4 or so. Middle of round 4, a lot of times he'll go there and draft. So I'm definitely cashing in at that discount in drafts right now. Those are 12 wide receivers I'm picking up right now. A lot of them are just going at discount compared to previous years or compared to earlier in the season. A lot of these guys are upside plays in the middle rounds, and I love to go after lottery tickets. I love to talk about lottery tickets. I love to talk about turning and burning players because that's what you should be doing, and those are some of the players I'm looking at. Always chase upside. Once you get to the middle rounds of those wide receivers, especially the double-digit rounds, that should be pure upside, especially at running back and wide receiver, because if you don't feel like you're built by the double-digit rounds, you either strategize for that or you messed up. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about it. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. One, thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.